All right, I think we're rolling. All right, so hello everybody. It's me, Ace, and I forgot to do this the day of the actual release of the episode, so I have to make up lost time before episode 2 actually premieres. But here we are, what is it? A commentary for the first episode of Reach for the Stars. Might as well fill you in on some stuff that I actually forgot that I needed to fill in. So, I don't have a better introduction, so let's begin. I'm skipping this disclaimer. Hang on. Make sure I got everything up and Yep. We are gold. Good as gold.
Looking for contestants to compete in a new competition show? If you're interested in competing for a special prize, meet the host of the Plains in the City. The address is noted below. What the what?
First, I'm gonna completely disregard the animation error. Second, I wanted to say that this entire first scene right here, some lines in which each character has says some sort of name, I had to go back and re-record because keep in mind I recorded these lines like somewhere in like the original production of Reach for the Stars, which was in December and January, like this winter. And this was around the time that each character used their object names instead of their actual names. So in the case in which each character had to be referred to as a proper noun, in which I voiced in this episode, I had to re-record that line and use it.
Hey, Dante.
A prime example is that in the original, Denise said,
Denise.
"Hey,
What's
data
up?
chart," instead of "Hey."
I saw you reading that flyer. What's on it?
It's just an invitation for a competition show.
Ooh, sounds interesting. You should join.
I considered participating, but I realized I didn't have anyone to go with. So that might be a problem.
Considering your current situation, I was wondering if I could
There's like
come
a
with
second
you.
animation error that I
Yeah, that'd be
forgot.
more than great.
Why is the
But
poster still up
don't
there
you have
when
a school to
Dante's
run?
holding on?
You are the principal of the school.
And that's really
so...
also not up
It'll
to
be
scale.
fine.
I have
Remember,
no
there's
idea.
also
Oh
a
my
vice
goodness.
principal who helps run the school too.
I don't
If
animate
that's
much
the case,
scenes
then
in
yeah,
general.
that'd be more than great. Thank you.
No worries.
Third
When do we
animation
have to
error
be
that I
there?
called out.
The flyer says we must be at the area tomorrow at 9 in the morning. What's that, like Saturday or something?
Yeah, I think so. Then it's settled. We're going to that competition and we're going to win whatever that prize is. All right then. Catch you later, Dante.
Oh yeah, let's read what the flyer really says. Hi, the host is making a competition show when they want you to be in it. I'm gonna read this in Dante's voice because this is exactly what he says. They say word for word. If you're interested in competing for a special prize, meet the host at the Plains in the City. The address is noted below. What the what? Anyways, the Suno Plains in Wales, Massachusetts. Turns out this happens to be a real place, by the way. I was meant to make it fictional. The city and the state in itself. Which also confirms that, yes, everybody lives in America. And the Suno Plains, yeah, that part is fictional. And yes, the day says May 21st. At the time, I can't even speak. Why is the date so significant? I'm not at liberty to say much, but in episode 4, I think in one scene, Lucy or Madeline mentioned something about about the seasons being like late May or something, like nearing the end of spring. And at that time, it would have already been like 3-4 days after the competition started. So yes, this competition does happen daily. Daily. You and 19 others. Is that a coincidence? Maybe. But yeah, there are 20 people in this show. Oh, I am looking for contestants to compete in my new competition. Oh yeah, that's right. More things to note. 1, some of these characters in the show are somewhat based off of actual people who I know in my life. Dante is meant to represent yours truly, and Denise is meant to represent what not only my algebra teacher from freshman year, but also one of the original voice actors from the origins of which both of these characters came from, Dysfunctional Struggles and Impacts. Funny enough, she would have played Denise in the original
principal of the
ESI.
stories.
Two, not sure if anyone's also caught the reference, but this entire opening scene is a callback to The Amazing World of Gumball. In two ways, you can picture this in two ways. And what is it? While I open up the clip, I'm going to explain. One, it's basically about tax grades. What is it? There's like this whole scene on tax grades from that scene, and which each of these, in which what is it? Almost each line kind of mirrors off of a character. Where in this case, you can say that Dante happens to be Gumball in the scene, and I guess Denise would probably be Darwin. Here you go.
Grade tax? Your grades will be taxed to provide better grades for the less academically gifted.
Yeah, basically that scene. And then there's another one. This happens in the Gumball Chronicles when Gumball is running for president. It's that same opener scene too. Here, and this is like the same clip, but reanimated and all that stuff.
Election for school president! Please choose your running mate and prepare a campaign poster by the end of the week. What the what?
So what do you say? President Darwin and his running mate Gumball.
In what world am I the vice president?
The amazing world where I'm allowed to make decisions.
Nah, not knowing what to do is literally your catchphrase.
Yeah, basically all that.
No worries.
And those are just all the references to that very first scene. That was the only animated scene too. I decided to present it because I didn't want it to go to waste. But remember, the series is audio only. You're gonna have to listen. Why did it take me 8 minutes to analyze the whole one? This is just a montage. Let's just say that this isn't the first time that you hear that music in the episode. Anyways, now Dante's waiting at the bus stop. I did animate this scene as well. And also finished it, but for some reason I can't find it. So
I am so delighted to see you.
Same here, but I'm not exactly used to hugs.
That is very much true. In actuality, since Dante is technically meant to be based off of my personality in some shape or form, I am definitely not one to be used to hugs. Like, hugs make me feel uncomfortable in a number of ways.
Oh, right. Sorry. I forgot about that.
No worries, but I am so glad you're here. I'd have absolutely no idea what I'd do if I was alone.
Anytime. I'm always here for you, and I just want you to know that. All right?
Yeah, of course. I get that.
Dante is meant to sound a little bit irritated when they say this. The reason for that is, again, this mirrors my persona anyway. And, what is it? In the time that I was writing this, I started having intrusive thoughts and what is it? I'm also known for having major trust issues with other people. So when people usually say that they're going to be there for me, I usually take it for a grain of salt. And it's constantly repeated so many times it almost starts to become a pain in my ass. So
Oh hey, I think that's our bus.
Are you guys here for the competition?
Yup.
Great. Get in.
There was also meant to be like a license plate on the back of the bus that had like a mix of numbers and letters. I don't know why I'm explaining that. It may or may not have some significance to what I explain later on. I wrote it in a doc somewhere. But
OMG. Is that Dante? Like, actually Dante?
And Camille's character was based off of my ex. We don't talk about that, but it's pushed to an extent. And Madeline is also based off of my ex's best friend, as far as I know. You know, Madeline is tend to be more of a follower in this case.
Yes, he's actually going to be competing in the same show. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited.
Why do the squeals sound so deep pitched? If you were to hear me squeal right now, what do you think my voice would sound like? Exactly. You'll just resort to hearing nothing but air coming out of my voice, which is why that's why the squeals are so deep pitched.
Did those two ever shut up? I'm sick of hearing them speak.
Dude, chill out. It's not that deep.
I'm sure you guys remember Desmond, the British egotistical guy from TIS. Yeah, his character was based off of someone who I had a back and forth banter with on some occasions. You know, and for the record, if you forgot what happened in TIS, yes, the whole I bet I can beat you guys. The whole I bet I could beat you guys in a fight 4v1. Yeah, that conversation really did spark to fruition. And you know, he's like, I guess his character was still the same as the original Desmond in More Phenomenal. He just happens to be a little more jealous and angry now. And as for Scott, he is based off of the co-creator for DSI, only in this case he's a little more delusional.
Yes, it is. They've been talking throughout the entire bus ride. It's pissing me off.
How have you not gotten used to their yapping yet? The four of us shared a math class last year, and those two talked constantly. I've put up with it. How have you not?
When Scott says that those four plus Dante all shared a math class last year, yeah, that part is also true because we all did share the same math class last year. It's the exact setting for TIS 1 as well.
Man, I don't know, but it's bugging me.
Can you two keep it down? It's really irritating to hear you guys wheeze your vocal cords out.
Sorry about that, Scott. Camila's just very excited to be competing with someone we all know and love very much.
Referring to Dante,
Really,
by the
huh?
way.
Guess I'm excited to see them then. See, that wasn't so bad.
Whatever, man.
I'm gonna change these captions a bit so that you guys can all see what's being read. So let's see. The font color is gonna be screw that. The font opacity is going to be at 100%, and now everyone can see.
You know, I think it's pretty obvious who's going to win this competition.
Yeah. Look out, everyone. You're all looking at the future winner right here.
Trini isn't exactly meant to be based off of someone. That is a lie. She is based off of someone. A crew member who was initially going to help with shows like DSI, Molotov's Madness, Directional Value, and even the original Reach for the Stars. Unfortunately, they did quit. Sienna, not so much.
Says who?
Says me.
Get real. It's obvious I'm gonna win.
Then I guess we'll have to compete on opposite ends of the competition and let the others decide who'll win.
Good luck, though.
Yeah, you too.
What is it? When Sienna and Trini have that small moment with each other, that also mirrors off to the same Gumball Chronicles episode I was talking about earlier. Take a listen.
Well, I guess I'm gonna have to run with someone else and let the public decide who'll be the best president.
Good luck, though, Darwin.
Yeah, you too, buddy.
Exactly. Basically, it's friendly competition at best.
I find it baffling how those two agree to compete against each other instead of with each other if they want to have at least any chance of getting far.
We don't have to worry about them. They're only a bunch of incompetent peasants getting in the way of my victory.
Our victory.
Whoops.
Yeah, whatever.
Wow, you are such a great friend.
Yeah, I know.
Of all the people, why did I choose you to come with me?
I'm still president. I just, captions and stuff. But that conversation doesn't actually have any mirrors in general. Yeah. I'm going to pause here and read what this says because this is apparently too much for anybody to read by themselves. Behind Christopher and Brooklyn, sitting on opposite ends of the bus, are Fitzgerald and Grace. Grace looks out the window to see the nice change in scenery. She then stops to look I can't speak. She then stops looking to find Fitzgerald sitting impatiently. Basically, minor tweaking from Fitz.
Hi, friend. What's wrong? You look a little upset.
I'm not upset. I'm impatient. When will we get to the area? I'm more than ready to become the best of the best.
You sound excited. Say, do you want to team up? It could be nice to use the company on a show like this.
Oh yeah, I wanted to point out like a little error in this particular scene. Fitzgerald's voice was accidentally pitched up in this scene compared to when he decides to join the Overloads later on in the episode. The reason for this was because in the birthday short, Fitzgerald's voice was initially meant to be pitched to make them sound a little more andro, but considering the fact that their voice would almost sound similar to Dante's in a sense, it was later put into normal pitch just with the sore throat, just so that those two sound distinctly different.
What should I do? She seems pretty helpless and weak
You can hear the pitch
on her
too.
own, and she does seem to need help. But I came here to win, not to make friends. I think I might have an idea.
Fitzgerald's got a plan.
You know what? Sure. Why not?
Awesome. Thank you.
The whole point of this alliance was that Fitzgerald was just playing for himself and didn't really care much what happens to Grace. That's only proven wrong later on, but, you know, I'm not at liberty to say.
Hey, what are you looking at?
Trailer.
Oh, nothing. Just asserting my authority to let the redhead know that you're worth absolutely nothing.
This line was also altered. When Salem, I think the original line was something like, letting the card gal know. It was later changed to redhead because, depending on which way you look at it, Heather's theme color is mostly red, and I guess she's more commonly referred to as a redhead, considering that the heart on the center of her body in the object variant is red, and in the Stickman variant, the main color of her body is red.
To anyone here.
Huh?
Well, what do you have to offer?
Well,
Exactly. You contribute nothing here.
Okay, first of all, you didn't even give her a chance to speak. And second of all, dude, what's your problem? We haven't even started the competition yet, and you're already targeting someone completely innocent.
Hey, in a competition, you gotta do whatever it takes to win. This could mean bringing someone down on purpose.
Well then, can you do us a huge favor and just stop? Please? Both of us are not in the mood for it right now.
Fine, but just know this. I'll make sure you're the first one out, gal. Watch.
What does that man want with me?
I don't know, but what I do know is that he's trouble.
What's the whole deal between Salem's and Heather's rivalry with each other? That is explained later within the series. But for context, why are they beefing? This was initially supposed to be a more charismatic elements double a hierarchy plot. In the pilot episode of DTH, Salem and Heather are given the choice to compete on either Cameron's show or Trini's show. And because, Trini and Cameron were the original hosts of DTH. What is it? I think Cameron came onto Salem's show. I think I forgot the intro. Yeah, no. What is it? I can't even speak. Salem came onto Cameron's show. Yeah, came onto Cameron's show to compete. And then because his entire personality is being the narcissist and all that. And then when Heather adds her 2 cents, Salem pushes Heather to Trini's show, and she doesn't even get a chance to. She didn't even decide that for herself. Like she She was just automatically placed there thanks to Salem with no choice of her own whatsoever. I wanted to use that rivalry into the series and give both of those characters a little more core development as the show goes on. Oh, would you look at that? We got the directional value crew. Lucy, Santiago, Raylan, and Caitlin.
So, are you guys excited?
Excited? I'm ready. Matter of fact, I've been ready.
Me too. I can't wait.
There are two things that I want to There are two things that I want to note for the voices of Lucy and Santiago. One, Lucy's voice in the first episode is completely different compared to the trailer in itself. I could say that for every other character, but Lucy's is more significant. Why? Around the time that the trailer dropped, I don't think every single line was recorded yet. So for the episode 1 trailer, I just dubbed it. Same case for Salem in episode 2. But what is it for the media release? I think a little while later, the voice for Lucy, which is Wynn, did submit her lines, and they were used in the episode instead. For Santiago, Jake or Whiteout or I Don't Live was meant to voice act in episode 1, but I think there were some time constraints on their end. So I ended up just using my demo lines for Santiago. Yeesh.
Hey, is everything all right?
I'm not sure if anyone has also noticed this, but when Raylan asks this particular question to Caitlin, this mirrors off the same line that she said to Eli or Electric Sword in directional value.
Huh? Oh, yeah, I'm fine. Don't worry about it.
Are you sure? You look a bit distant. If something's bothering you, I'd be happy to help.
No, nothing's bothering me, I promise. There's just so many things that I keep in my mind.
What? What's so funny?
Oh, nothing. I was just thinking about a song.
Ah, I see.
Okay, Lucy is definitely 100% correct on thinking of a song. Not sure if you guys have caught this yet, but when Caitlin says that there is just so many things that she bottles up in her head, that very line mirrors the same song If I Disappear by Tobu. Okay, found it. This is it.
There's so many things that I keep in my mind.
That was intentional. I decided to put that in there for, humorous purposes.
Okay, but still, just in case anything pops up, you can always talk to me.
I'll make sure of that. Thanks.
No problem.
And then we have Bella's favorite character.
Crazy! I'm crazy! I think I've gone crazy! Do you think I've gone crazy? Tell me, Seeds! Do you believe I've gone crazy? Because I think I've gone crazy! I don't know what I should do. Should I get help? No, I think I'm fine. Do I look fine? Am I fine? I probably am. Right?
First of all, huge props to Magenta for delivering that line. Oh my goodness, you cooked, brother. And second, this Blair's ramble on being crazy doesn't mirror off anything, but I know some people are having thoughts about the whole crazy. I was crazy once. They locked me in a room with rats, a rubber room with rats, so yada yada, stuff like that. So I guess that just goes out for all of you guys who caught that one. It wasn't intentional, but I know some people were having thoughts about it.
I don't know what's more scary, her sanity or the fact that she said the word crazy 6 times in that speech.
Yes, that part is also true. And for the record, yes, I did count how many times Blair has said the word crazy. She said it once, twice, thrice, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times. I did have to count that.
Crazy 6 times in that speech.
I think it's the latter.
Yeah, it has to be.
Yep.
And they all rather agree that her saying the word crazy 6 times is more crazier than her craziness itself.
All right, guys, we're here.
Okay, so remember when I said that montage music would be played later in the episode? Yeah, this is exactly what I was talking about, the opening.
Got no regrets inside of me. Not looking back, not giving up, not letting go. I'll keep
I know I said I'd re-export this intro because of that sudden cut from the whoosh, because because there's like supposed to be more animation when it slides over. I forgot. Oh, my bad, guys. And yes, Reach for the Stars. The name for Reach for the I can't even speak today. Yes, Reach for the Stars, the name of the show, was definitely 100%, without a doubt, intentionally named after a song from Sonic Colors. I'm gonna find my way. Take a chance on today. The sky will start so bright, the clouds feel so right. Just take my hand, we're gonna reach for the stars tonight. Oh yeah, that lyric part was also intentional because I had a lot more room in this intro and I just didn't want to go to waste. And keep in mind, this intro was not besides the poses of these characters. No aspect of Wicked Editor was used. This was all CapCut. Just take my hand, we're gonna reach for the stars tonight. Pretty clever. Tonight. Wake up, living day by day. And now I'm pretty sure, I'm exactly 100% sure that you guys caught the title card for. Each title card for RFTS was based off of the same title cards that was used in the 1998 version of the Powerpuff Girls. Why? You want to ask me how many cartoon references I put in the show? I would probably say a lot. And the episode continues from here. Oh, right. For the record, script edits were done by my friend Muggin, and he's also the story director for Reach for the Stars alongside with me.
Get a load of that sweet, sweet air. Yeah, it is actually very peaceful here.
That's nice and all, but where's our host? I hop up in the whip, then I pull up to the spot. Hi guys, sorry I'm late. Yeah, the host happens to be this little. There was traffic.
Blah, 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 whatever. We don't care. When can we start the first challenge?
Why is it that Brooklyn's line is put to the right side of the audio? Good question. I thought I fixed that within audio editing, but I guess not. You can't just talk to the host like that. They have more authority on the show than anyone else does. Don't worry about it. She seems eager, but before we can get to anything, we need to do a rundown of how the show even works. Oh, I see now. No way. You guys will be split into 2 teams of 10, and you'll all be fighting against each other for a chance to win this shooting star. This shooting star will allow you to grant one wish of your choice. Only one? It's a shooting star, not a meteor shower. I wanted to add in that line, not just for humorous sakes, but to also keep in mind that, for the record, stupidity is not tolerated on Cameron's show. And no, I'm not calling Chris stupid or anything. I just wanted to leave that in there because I didn't want the response to just be boring. Like, only one? Yes, only one. I wanted to do more with the show. So that's why I put in it's a shooting star, not a meteor shower. Moving on. After each challenge, all of you will have the chance to vote for someone to be eliminated. Person with the most votes is out of the show. Is that clear?
I don't think anything was made clear in any bit of your stupid introduction. Can you clarify how this show will work?
Like I said, Cameron doesn't tolerate stupidity. But in this case, they have to put up with it. There. Was that any clearer now? Good. You guys want to know something? I'm not sure if anyone has ever called me out for this, but I literally had to use my own voice just to make the sound effect of Brooklyn shaking her damn head. Why didn't I just use 2 pieces of audio? I was audio editing because around the time that I was audio editing the scene, I was in my history class audio editing this very scene. Nobody noticed,
but I didn't. I was eager to get this episode out.
Good, then I'm not repeating myself. Now, there are 2 mats placed right behind me. One mat is red and the other mat is blue. You guys will choose which mat you want to be on to determine the teams. Remember, only 10 people can be placed on one mat. You guys can get to choosing now.
Huh. Doesn't seem too bad. Hey, Denise, you want to join me?
Of course.
That's 2 people on the red mat so far.
What is she doing with him? This is downright unacceptable. Come on, Madeline. We're going to their team.
This line didn't mirror off of anything, but if anyone else was thinking this, how I think in one of the BFDIA episodes, I forgot the number of the episode, but the title was called Airplanes in the Night Sky. Fries has mentioned so many times that this is blah, 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 unacceptable. That, what Camille said was not a direct reference off of this. Remember, the script was written in 2024. I have no idea when BFDIA whatever came out, actually.
But shouldn't we think about this before making the final decision?
Madeline's a follower, but she's also the smart one out of the duo.
Hi, Dante.
Smash Bros.
What do you want?
I didn't think you'd be competing in this show. I don't think I've ever expressed how excited I am to compete with you.
No way. Maybe it's because you never actually spoke to them on the bus.
Wait, so that's why you guys were excited? Now that explains it. I can't believe my best friend is actually competing with me.
Like I said,
I am not your best friend. For the record, I am not friends with any.
Well, I finally have someone I can take down in a competition.
Everyone on this team is just... But I want to just kind of point out right now that with the exceptions of Lucy and Santiago, everybody who's on this team everyone is basically on this team just because Dante's on it. All the relationships are just centered around Dante in some shape or form whatsoever. But this is the only ever time Trini ever speaks about or to Dante. For now, at least.
Why don't you find someone else to take on instead? He's mine.
And Camille means that in both a delusionally romantic way and possessive way.
Please, if you were really their friend, you know that those are the wrong setup.
Hello, what am I to do then?
I'm not sure if anyone else could hear this within the argument between not everyone on the red team, but characters like Desmond, Scott, Camille, and Madeline arguing over arguing over Dante. Not sure if anyone can hear this, but when Madeline says, "Hello, what am I to you then?" Not only is that a line in episode 2, yes, I'm not going back to just re-record every single line just for argumentative measures, but that line is a line that I never actually recorded. That line right there was provided by the actual voice for episode 2 of Madeline, Maggie Rushkin.
This is downright unacceptable.
Okay,
Come on, Madeline.
Glad I'm not a part of that drama.
Like new drama arises.
Hey, is it okay if I join your team? I'd rather not deal with all the drama from the other team.
I won't force you to go to the other team. In the end, it's your choice after all.
Get it? It's your choice. A real knee slapper there.
Thanks.
Oh. Technically, Heather didn't actually step on the mat, so you can kind of say that Salem is the second member to join the blue team, and Heather's really the third.
Look at you on the ground like a complete weakling, helpless to get off the ground. Well, what are you waiting for? When are you gonna cry, huh?
What the hell, man? That wasn't called for. Why did you even shove her?
She deserved it.
Deserved it for what? You know what? Never mind.
No, Salem
Here,
would give
let
an
me help
answer
you out.
anyway. He thinks he's too good.
Thanks
and
again.
important.
Anytime, but I feel bad you have to deal with him. He's such a great teammate to have around.
I feel like when I recorded this line, I used the wrong form of sarcasm. Instead, because I said he's such a great teammate to have around. It should have been he's such a great teammate to have around.
Yeah, I know I am. You won't regret this choice.
You wish that was a backhand to Salem's face to knock his narcissistic self off the table, but nah,
Hey,
it was a face.
we're gonna join this team. I personally think this team could use a little more electrical support.
Like I said, Fitzgerald's voice was accidentally pitched up. This is now their normal voice. For this episode, at least.
Yeah, we just want to help people.
Okay.
Same here. I have a rival on the other team, and I'd rather compete against them than with them.
Before I continue on with this very line, there's a little joke that I wanted to make in this episode. So give me like a minute. Trust me, it's gonna be worth it. It's gonna be worth it. Just trust. Okay, all right, done. Now for the funny.
Wouldn't it make more sense to compete with them? I'd rather not start a whole conflict outside of the team. Besides, haven't you heard of the saying,
That was a joke I wanted to make. Basically, what is it? That line, in the time that I was actually writing the script, though, I never knew about Epic the Musical until after I was done writing this script. So Christopher's, besides, keep your friends closer and your enemies closer is a really common line. However, that line does reference something. You guys have seen Total Drama Island. You've seen the first episode, the 2007 variant, the original, blah, blah, blah. Heather says to Lindsay, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. That is exactly what that line mirrors off of, even if it
wouldn't
isn't
it make
commonly
more sense to
named.
compete with them? I'd rather not start a whole conflict outside of the team. Besides, haven't you heard of the saying, keep your friends close and your enemies closer?
Nah.
For context, Sienna has heard of the saying. She just doesn't care. Wait,
Whoa. What are you doing?
What?
No, not you. Her.
Ah! Where in the absolute hell did you come from?
Oh, you know.
For the record, Blair was like, yeah, I can't speak today. Out of everybody in the main cast, Blair had the least lines in this episode. She only had 2. That was her second one.
I cannot believe she's going to be on our team now.
I wish I did a better job.
Guys, we have a problem. There's only 3 spots.
Oh yeah, that's right. For the record, let the record show that
I cannot believe she's going to be on our team now.
By too fast. The ones currently not on a team on any sort of team whatsoever. There's only 5 people left: Brooklyn, Caitlin, Lucy, Raylan, and Santiago.
Guys, we have a problem. There's only 3 spots on the blue team and 2 spots on the red team.
Yeah, he's right. We might need to split up.
Wait, what? Why do we have to split up? Can't we just ask one of the members of the blue team to switch to the red team?
It looks like they already made up their minds.
On top,
I accidentally cut a line in Kate. I accidentally cut off an important part of, not really an important line, but I accidentally cut off a part of Caitlin's line in this particular scene. What is it? She was initially supposed to say, I mean, it looks like they already made up their minds. But what is it? The I mean was accidentally cut out for some strange reason. So I just went with it either way. It still makes sense regardless.
On top of that, we also can't have 3 of us go on the blue team and the other one go solo. We might have to split it evenly.
Why?
Think about it. Out of everyone here, we seem to have the largest friend group. If 3 of us go on the blue team, we may get targeted since we have the largest number of people in our group.
That makes a lot of sense. And for the record, we're not going to divvy up the whole hex-tuple relationship. Was it the whole the hexagonal relationship between Denise, Dante, Aaron, Desmond, Madeline, Scott? Sorry, not hex-tuple, hep-tuple, and Camille. All of that is not one friend group. Instead, it is actually divvied up into 3 separate relationship friend groups: Camille and Madeline, Dante and Desmond, Dante and Denise, Desmond, Aaron, and Scott. And they do. And so Santiago is technically right about having the biggest friend group: Lucy, Raylan, Santiago, and Caitlin. It's like 4 people.
What we need to do is keep it low profile so that we're not suspected of being super close.
And that's the only, and that's like the smartest thing you'll ever hear in this episode.
I guess you make a fair point. But now the question is, who will go on which team?
Let's see, what are the options?
Caitlin, wait up!
Well, I guess we're both on the red team then.
So that means Brooklyn will go on the blue team. So, what are you waiting for? Go.
No, I'm not going until you explain to me the rules of the game properly.
We're still going on about that? I'm so sorry about her, Cameron. I really am. Please, continue. All right. So now I'm giving you all the opportunity to name your teams. Do any of you have any ideas? Our team name should be
Electrical Overload! Why is that voice line not matched with the captions? Simple, I forgot to re-record that line. And just to recap, members of the Overloads: Blair, Brooklyn, Caitlin, Christopher, Fitzgerald, Grace, Heather, Raylan, Salem, and Sienna.
What in the actual Okay, so the blue team will be called the Electrical Overloads.
Seriously?
Red team, what about you?
The Christopher's seriously in that line was actually improv. What is it? That was recommended to me by the script editor Muggin in the episode. I can't even speak anymore. I'm starting to run out of oxygen. That was improv because initially he wasn't supposed to say that, but for humor's sake, once more, Muggin decided to add that in because he was like Chris had like so many ideas or an idea, but it was never used.
The Mighty Musicals.
And to recap this and add another plus note, 1, the recap, members of the musicals: Aaron, Camille, Dante, Denise, Desmond, Lucy, Madeline, Santiago, Scott, and Trini. On top of that, there were so many considerations for what the red team's name was going to be. It went from being musically majestic to the majestic majestically musical to the majestic musicals, until I finally just stuck with something simple and went with the Mighty Musicals.
Hey, I like that name.
So the red team will be called the Mighty Musicals. Now with that all out of the way, I thought it'd be a good idea to start your first challenge tomorrow. I don't want you all to get so caught up in the action, especially on your first day.
I guess that's fair.
Yeah. Also, each of you guys have your own designated trailers over there by those trees. These trailers are customized to reflect your interests, personal hobbies, and whatnot, so you won't have to feel super bored. That's awesome. I know, I outdid even myself this time. Anyway, you should all get some rest before your first challenge tomorrow. You guys can also leave your stuff in your trailers too. With all that said, I'll see you all tomorrow morning.
That does not officially mark the end of the episode yet. And finally, the VP.
Well, time to take charge.
Now that kind of marks the end. And I'm gonna play the credits because even though I voiced almost everyone, gotta give some other people credit. Blah blah blah. You know who did all that. And yeah, all the music composers. You have Cash and Hotline Sawandi who composed the opening. Miko, who was it? The One to Fall, those were used for the team jingles. James L. Venable, Stephen Rucker, and Thomas Chase for the title cards, and Jun Ishikawa for the credits. I've wished these guys. Right, so I only really had like two IRL peeps who helped with this episode. Jude, who played the role of Brooklyn, and Alexa, who played the roles of Grace and Trina. And yes, for the record, I did play like 2/3 of the cast for this episode. Don't worry, my voice won't have to feel so much sore when you hear hear these characters speak again in the second episode. Also, Blair looks or sounds like she's on drugs. No, that's just a No, I'm gonna sound so nerdy when I say this, but it's more or less a psychological phenomenon that's going through her head right now. Keep in mind, she went to prison, and prison can do someone to a person, at least canonically, but before the show started, at least. We don't 100% know for sure, but it doesn't matter. Anyways, blah, 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 yada, yada. Also, how did I not get caught for recording those lines? Simple. What is it? It was a good thing I sat at the very back of the class at the time. And, around that time, I don't think my creativity was appreciated in a history classroom until I actually animated something for a project. That's when people started, giving it some recognition. So I was really discreet. It is a very good thing. It is like so much of a good thing that I kept a low profile, and my whereabouts, or let alone my presence, was not a big deal to everybody. Yeesh, my tongue hurts. Anyways. And this episode was also broadcasted on television. Okay, hold on a sec. The episode was also broadcasted on television, but that was before the episode's release. Like, I think it was like June 10th. That's when it came out. And this episode came out June 12th. Then June 18th for the watch party. Ugh! And such. So, yeah. But also, I'm not exactly done yet. What kind of commentary would this be if I didn't read the comments? Get it? Right. So, Bella basically said this was a solid first episode. I enjoyed it. Appreciate the support, buddy. Ember said this was a pretty decent start to the show. Huge fan of the audio series format. It really adds a more audible-based element to the series, as what we hear may be more important than what we see. As examples of this fact are clearly present throughout the episode. And I honestly predict that this will be a very important element of the show going forward. Great work to the DDS team, and you did an incredible job working on this. Thank you for the support, buddy. And yeah, those were the only actual great comments that I can see right now. But yeah, this marks the end of the commentary. I am also doing a Q. If no one's ever checked the Blue Sky, Twitter, or YouTube posts, we're also doing a Q&A. Ask a number of questions as you want, and I'll definitely answer them in a video. Finally, you guys know, and before I actually go, I'm going to show you guys the trailer for episode 2, because you guys get to be in, because you guys are introduced to new voices so that you don't hear a strain in my voice. This episode was also written in 2024, might I add. Only 2 episodes were written before the start of this year. Fuck, hang on. So, take a look.
Actually pretty smart, but how do you know what
I don't like this place. Get me out of here!
This piece is ugly.
Brooklyn does have a new voice as well as like a couple of others.
Really, you don't have to worry about me.
No, I think we should work together for this challenge. And maybe even throw the competition overall.
Shh, keep your voice down. You don't want to get caught.
It's clear that you want something from me, and I'm not giving it.
Wow, you haven't seen the trailer. It's really artsy and wonderful.
My goodness. I've been walking around for 10 minutes and I still haven't found you. What's taking so damn long?
Alright, everyone, stand back. I got this.
What? Who's that? I thought she was sweet.
Even if we were allowed to go in the ocean, I can't swim.
As your friend, and I'm a wedding friend, without making sure she's okay.
Hello? What if I can be that?
Oh, nothing. Just, what can I say with that, yeah?
Yeah, you should really watch what you say. It might sound far that's stupid that way.
I had to dub Salem's lines.
Right in front of the cave. Could have at least gone in there.
I guess this world has just been built into my little odyssey, where I'm always assigned the worst things possible on this very adventurous and long-ass journey.
That also seems like a pretty offbeat question to ask.
What the? Hey, you scared the absolute daylight out of me!
I want you all to meet me at the beach in 10 minutes. Your first challenge will be taking place there.
Okay, and that's basically all I have left to showcase. The episode officially releases on July 13th. That's like probably the. Am I the only one who noticed that Camila and Trini have the same lines as the episode one? That was an accident. I couldn't find any other lines for those two characters that don't actually spoil the episode. Better to use lines out of context for trailers than lines that make any sort of sense whatsoever. But yeah, I think the release date that you guys should be looking at is the one for July 13th, because when I say media, I mean the YouTube release of the episode. So the episode for you guys is set to come out for like another 2 weeks or so. The television release is only like a week before that, and Salem's lines are going to be really different because I'll be voicing him in the TV release, and a new voice actor for Salem will be playing him in the actual media release. So that's basically all I have to say. Hope you guys enjoyed the first episode. Episode 2 is almost finished. That I can guarantee. And we will see you. And I will see you. And I will see you so much so, as well as the rest of the crew, once the episode comes out. See you then.